Hey y'all, I'm Kimberly Warner, mama of two, lover of shoes, and serial entrepreneur. I've dedicated my life to helping women succeed in business by just being themselves. But the path isn't always easy. We have all gone through challenges and fear, but it is through those times when we learn who we really are, authentically. This podcast is for anyone who's experienced fear or is looking for the inspiration to do more, be more, or like me, rise from the ashes and be better than before. Here we go. Hey y'all, we're back for another episode of Fearlessly Authentique. I am your host, Kimberly Warner, and today is going to be a Kimberly Warner authentic episode. That means it's me, and just me. Mostly because I've had a really busy past 10 days. I'm going to fill you in on that. And also because we had a special guest that we interviewed today that's going to take a little bit of editing time, and we'll be posting that next Thursday. So today I thought I would just talk to everyone and just kind of fill you in on what's been going on in my life for the past few weeks. So a little over a week ago, some of you may have seen in pictures or on social media, but I have two tiny dogs. One of them is Hazel. She is a 6.8-pound Havanese, and she is all chocolate brown, which is kind of rare. And then I have a tiny little, what you would consider teacup Maltese. She's 3.5 pounds, give or take, and she is all white. Her name is Bianca. And last Friday, I came home and she was in the midst of a seizure/stroke. And she's just a baby. She's only 4 years old. So it was a pretty traumatic experience, actually, and racing to the closest animal ER where she spent 2 nights. And we found out that she had brain swelling, and they didn't know if it was epilepsy or a brain tumor or meningitis or little white shaker dog syndrome. After 2 nights, she came home, and she is on multiple medications. She takes something 7 times a day at very particular times, so starting at 6 a.m. and ending at 10 p.m. throughout the day. So I haven't really been able to leave much after the stroke happened. She also went blind, or is blind, so she can't see much, which is very heart-wrenching. And I had to kind of go through and weigh the options, like, is this going to be like this forever? You know, how do you know when to let go of a pet? Is she young enough to bounce back? All of those things. And any of y'all who are pet owners know that it's like one of your children. I mean, it's part of the family. And for her to only be 4 years old, and she's really special. I mean, it's not special in a, in an odd way, but special in a way that she's very sweet and caring and loving and always wants to be, well, it's kind of special in an odd way because, like, she wants to perch on my shoulder all the time, kind of like a bird. She reminds me of a parrot sometimes, so she'll climb up onto the top of the back couch cushion so she can put her paws on my shoulder. So I guess she is kind of special in a weird way, but she's part of our family, and that was very traumatic on last Friday. And so then only a few days later, which was Wednesday morning, I had to go through kind of a routine surgery, but it was surgery nonetheless that I had to spend the night overnight at the hospital. And I'm not shy to share. It is something that I'm super excited about, and it was a bladder surgery. So I no longer am going to pee on the floor when I cough or sneeze or laugh or run or jog or jump or pick up a heavy box. Hopefully I'll be able to get back to exercising and lose the COVID-15. And I'm really looking forward to that. But it was surgery that was limiting. So, I didn't realize that for 6 to 8 weeks I wasn't going to be able to lift a lot of heavy things, and I wasn't going to be able to swim or take a bath or, walk up and down too many stairs or stand for too long. So this whole past week has been a lot of sitting, which is hard for me because I'm on the go-go all the time. But with Bianca, we were able to snuggle up, and surgery makes you tired. You never realize how tired you get, even if you're not in a lot of pain, which I'm not, which is what's so deceiving about this type of surgery, is that you feel pretty much fine. So you want to go do all the things you normally do, like laundry and cleaning and vacuuming and making dinner and groceries and stuff like that, which of course I was prohibited from doing. And so it was really hard to sit, but you don't realize how exhausted you get just doing a few daily activities like making breakfast and cleaning up the kitchen. And I was like ready for a nap most of this week. So both little Boo Boo Bear and I have been recovering. And while we were recovering, I watched a movie that I had never seen before. And the movie is going to get to the point of today's Kimberly's, authentic messages, if you will. And the movie was called Julie and Julia, and is based on two true stories. One of an author named Julie Collins, and then the other of the icon and most famous Julia that most of us know, Julia Child. So if you haven't seen the movie, it's really interesting because it kind of flips back and forth, and it tells the story of Julia Child. At the same time, it tells the story of this author, Julie, who was in love with Julia Child and put herself to the challenge of doing a blog. And it kind of starts out in the fact that she isn't super successful in the position that she wants to be in. She wants to be a writer, and she's not working as a writer, but she wants to, but she's working in this other job to pay the bills. And she remembered that food and cooking was something that was very comforting. And, certain meals that her mom would make that were Julia Child meals, she would remember with fondness. And so she decides to do a blog in, current day. And she's going to do 524 recipes of Julia Child from her cookbook. So basically her entire first cookbook. And she's going to do them within 365 days. So every day she was going to do a recipe or two until she got to the 365th day, which would be the last recipe, number 524. And so what's interesting about that and the connection that I made as I was watching it is that a lot of people ask me, why do you do your podcast? And even my dad was like, I don't know how to listen to it. I don't know how to find it. I don't even know what a podcast is. Like, why podcast? What's the point? And, of course, the point is ultimately to make money. Fearlessly Authentique is not making any money. You need sponsors for that. And obviously you need a large listenership and lots of credibility behind you. And, usually the real famous people that do podcasts, they have big sponsors like, I don't know, Apple, iPhones and such. But why do you do a podcast? And I thought, why am I doing a podcast? I mean, obviously, I want to help inspire and empower women. Obviously, I love training people. I love business concepts. I love talking about it. I love teaching other people things. And I also went through a tough time, and I like talking about how I flipped the script and wanted to come out on the other end of it better and stronger. I also love a microphone. I love a stage. I love anything where I get to be the center of attention. So that was the part of it. It definitely wasn't the entire part of it, but sometimes, I wonder myself, why am I podcasting? I feel like no one really knows me very well. Like, I'm not a famous actress or, Bethany Frankel or a housewife or anything like that. I mean, a few people know me in my community, but not a lot. But I always wonder, like, are people listening to me? Like, I feel like I'm just talking into the air sometimes. Let's talk money. I know. Talking money is not my favorite topic either. But what I'm about to share with you could change your life for the better and for the long term. Profit Wealth Management of Kenosha, Wisconsin was founded in 1999 by owner Mark Hujick. With 37 years of experience in the financial world, Mark's main point of difference is how he treats his clients. And I would know because I am one of them. At Profit Wealth Management, you are not just a number. There are no rigid, prepackaged portfolios, and you will never be handed off to an inexperienced financial phone center when you call with a question. Profit Wealth Management takes pride in their superior service. Every single client is handled on an individual basis. Whether you are trying to save some money or you make $1 million and you want it to grow, they can help you. They are 100% fee-based with zero commission, and the best part is you have direct access to decision makers at all times. There's a good chance that many of y'all listening are thinking, I have no money. I'm not even sure if I have any assets. Perhaps you just graduated college, just got married, just lost a parent, just got divorced, or just started your very first job. Well, you are in luck, because another huge point of difference at Profit is that they offer free consultations with my friend and podcast guest, Carrie Lou Robinson. A graduate of Utah State University and UW Parkside, Carrie Lou has 30 years of experience in corporate counseling, and she really knows how to make your dollars work for you. Avoid the lure of quick fixes, learn about what assets you might have, or if not, how to start growing some. Any financial question you have, they can answer it. I am living proof. You will get first-class service and unparalleled solutions from honest and trustworthy individuals. Find them at 708 57th Street in Kenosha, Wisconsin, or call them to set up a free consultation with one of their advisors at 262-657-5555. They are open 5 days a week, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and they service clients from coast to coast. Learn more at ProfitWealthManagement.com. That's Profit, P-R-O-P-H-E-T, wealthmanagement.com. There was a quote from the movie that Julie, the author, makes, and somebody said to her, well, why are you blogging? Like, what's the point of doing this? And she was like, I need a regimen. It's a regimen. It's like doing sit-ups. It's like giving me, at the time she was talking about herself, but it gives you something you have to do one day at a time. And I wrote that down because I thought it was pretty powerful to think about. Every day we wake up and we have 10,000 things on the list, right? 10,000 to-dos. We have to feed our kids. We have to get laundry done. We have to bring them to baseball practice. We have to run to Kohl's and buy, new socks because all the ones that are in the washing machine have holes and dirty toes. You have all the things that you have to do in a day. And sometimes if you force yourself, and like working out, people say, they force themselves. It's, you've got to do it. You have to make time for you. You have to self-care. And working out is part of self-care. But you have to have a regimen. You can't just willy-nilly it, right? You have to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or like my friend Becky and her daughter Riley, they go to Burn Boot Camp every day. 6 days a week at 4:30 in the morning. That sounds like insanity to me. That sounds like hell on earth to me. But yet they love it. They bounce out of bed. They can't wait to go because that regimen, like sit-ups or whatever, is the one thing that they started to have to do one day at a time. And that one day at a time became a habit. And that habit became endorphin flowing and meeting new friends and having great conversation, all before the have-tos start. The have to pack lunches, the have to bring kids to school, the have to do laundry. And so having that one thing to do every day is really good. And it's a good way to start developing short-term goals. A lot of us are like, oh my gosh, I have a list of things I have to do today. If I don't get everything done, I don't feel accomplished. That's me often. Oftentimes I want to remodel my entire house in 4 days. And if I can't get it done by the end of the week, when the kids are gone, I get the kids back, I feel like a failure. And so I've really been trying to work on short-term goals and having things that I can do one of these things a day, and it's a piece of a bigger puzzle. And so getting through the trauma of Bianca and not knowing if she was going to be okay or not. I mean, because right away, people were jumping to the fact, well, you can't let her live blind. You should probably put her down. I mean, that's not fair to her. And then other people were saying, oh, it's going to take time. And, she's going to have to be on these, 6 of these medications for at least 28 days. And then the one medication for a year, while having it to be during specific times during the day. So 6 a.m. and then 10 a.m. and then 2 p.m. and then 6 p.m. again and then 10 p.m. again. That's a pretty stringent regimen for someone who isn't a stay-at-home mom. And because she's blind, I can't necessarily leave her to roam the house or leave her home alone for hours on end. And at the time, we didn't even know if she would be able to go potty outdoors. Like, she was so out of it and drugged up. And so I had to take it one day at a time, and not listen to anyone else, but listen to my gut and just do what I knew how to do. And that was to be consistent. And I think that being consistent is key in anything you do. And so I formed a regimen and, I set my alarm with the help of Maddie, my daughter, she helped. And of course, Steve and Tessa and the rest of my staff that could help, especially post-surgery, they were really there for me. And that's, speaks to your inner tribe again and being able to call on them when you need them most. But the regimen became, all around Bianca. And because I did it one day at a time and I stopped thinking about it is she going to live or die? Is she going to be blind forever? How am I going to live with a blind dog? How do I train a blind dog? I was taking on very large issues. And I was just about to have surgery myself. Then I had the surgery and I was still thinking of these large issues. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And my mom, who's always right, and if she listens to this, if she can find the podcast. We now have an app, though, by the way, y'all. So you can go to the App Store, type in Fearlessly Authentique, and hit download. And there I will be, my smiling face right on your smartphone. And so I taught my mom how to do it. So she's got it on there. So if she listens to this episode today, she's going to find out that she is always right. And what she said is, give it a week. And once we get through a week and you're post-surgery, then we'll sit down and we'll talk about it and we'll figure out what's best for everyone. Well, so said week is basically today. It's been a week since I had my surgery and a little over a week since Bianca had her stroke. Almost 2 weeks, I guess. On Friday it'll be 2 weeks and today's Thursday. Tomorrow it'll be 2 weeks. And I am happy to say that the regimen of just focusing on getting her medication and getting it down her and thinking of creative ways to get her to take liquid medicine, which, by the way, if any of y'all have to give your dog liquid medicine and you don't know how to, some people say just squirt it in the mouth and blow them in the face and they'll swallow. Well, she would just spit it out. So what I did was I melted butter. And I got this from Julia Child, from this movie, actually, because nothing's better than butter, right? You can never have too much butter. Ever see those women out there with the perfect shade of blonde hair, like me, or lush, long eyelashes? And you think, gosh, what vitamins do they take? Well, ladies, spoiler alert, they aren't taking vitamins, but what they are doing is going to Salon Nova at 2581 North Downer in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Salon Nova specializes in lash extensions because they use Liquifan Lash product, which was invented by the owner, Nova, the only patented instant cure system on the market, which equals stronger, longer-lasting lash extensions. They're gonna be long, lush, and you don't have to use any mascara. You wake up looking perfect, as if you had makeup on at 6 in the morning. It's fabulous. They are a super inclusive salon. They have color and cut experts for all different hair types. In fact, they are WeDad certified. For all of those curly-haired cuties out there, your cut will be perfect, and they have all of the products to go along with it as well. You don't want to miss the chance to get those lush lashes or that perfect shade of blonde. So book your appointment today at Salon Nova. You can call 414-273-6682 or salonnovaonline.com. We'll give you more information and their regular hours. They are open Monday through Saturday and Sunday by appointment. If you prefer to have a private appointment, those are also available. All you have to do is call 414-273-6682 or visit salonnovaonline.com. So I melted some butter and a little bit of chicken stock, and then I squirted the liquid medicine in there, and she lapped it right up. So just a tip to the wise, that's how you get dogs to take liquid medicine if you can't hold their mouth open and force it down their throat. Thank you, Julia Child. Can never have too much butter. I almost wanted to lick it up when I was mixing it up for her. But the regimen I took was just one day at a time, more like 1 hour at a time, and one medication at a time. And I am very happy to say that Miss Boo Boo Bear, who just took a deep sigh because she's sitting on my lap, is now able to see out of one eye. So yesterday, she does this thing. Again, this is where she's special in an odd way. She'll see her reflection in like the window of the stove or a mirror or in my electric fireplace upstairs, and she'll think there's a dog in there. And so she'll be like, grrr, grrr, growling at it, and then she'll like run around the backside of the fireplace to see where that dog is. And I always say, where's that white dog? Where's that dumb dog? What's she doing in there? How come she doesn't come out of there? And she'll scratch and paw at it like, come and play with me. I want to see you, little white dog. Of course, it's her. And, I cried one day thinking she's never going to be able to do that game again. And she's never going to be able to run and play in the yard with her sister again. And she's never going to this and never going to that. And I wasn't doing what my mom had told me. And that was to just not think about it, take one day at a time, 1 minute at a time, one medication at a time in this particular example. And yesterday she saw herself in the fireplace reflection, and I was sobbing, but I took a video of it, and I'm like, look, she can see herself. So she's on the mend, and, she went to the vet, and they said, we'll get her through the month of medication. The other med she might have to be on for a year, but, all the things that they thought it was neurologically in the very beginning are now coming down to a one-and-done situation of this little white shaker dog syndrome, which means that it happens once and maybe never happens again. So tears of joy for me yesterday, while last week there were lots of tears of fear. And then just the fact that I was on vacation with the kids and had just gotten back and then was trying to get ready and record podcasts and be prepared for my surgery. And none of that happened because what happened to Bianca happened, and then it was all focused on her Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then I went to surgery Wednesday morning, and now here I am a week later, and I go to the doctor today, and I feel great, and I haven't peed at all when I cough, laugh, sneeze, cry, so we're off to a good start. I still have about 7 more weeks of not doing anything extensive or exercising or running upstairs, but it was all worth it. And I think that sometimes the silliest things, like just a movie, although it was true, one sentence in a movie can impact a whole podcast, a whole episode. One sentence, that you hear on the radio or from a teacher or in a commercial can affect and impact people in certain ways. And sometimes it just gives you like these aha moments, like, oh my gosh, this is what I should do, or oh my goodness, I never even thought of that, or why don't I apply for a job doing that? I didn't even know that was a job, when you hear a commercial or something. So, just be aware of the little things. Be aware of, if you ask yourself, why am I doing this? And you feel like you're just talking to no one and you're not sure if it's ever going to get anywhere and if it's ever going to monetize and if it's ever going to be what you want it to be, that you have to kind of back up and have those short-term goals and come up with a regimen that gives you something you have to do one day at a time, because that's the only way I'm able to get out of bed some weeks, is to know that I have to do one thing one day at a time. So it's a shorter episode than normal, y'all, but it is a Kimberly authentic moment, and it's what I've been going through the past few weeks. Next week, we're going to have just a phenomenal episode with someone who's pretty famous nationwide, but definitely in the state of Wisconsin. And I'm really looking forward to introducing y'all to our first male guest on Fearlessly Authentique next week. So stay tuned. Keep doing it one day at a time. And if y'all need a good movie to watch, Julie and Julia, it's currently on Netflix, and it will make you want to eat a lot. So don't watch it hungry. Just like you don't want to go to the grocery store when you're hungry, you do not want to watch this movie hungry, or you'll be deboning a duck. Till next week, we'll see y'all later. Have a fearlessly authentic week.
Thank you for listening to Fearlessly Authentic. My mom hopes this episode empowered you to be fearless. Please remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. Share, rate, and comment because my mom wants to hear all of your feedback. Contact her directly at fearless@fearlesslyauthentic.com. Hosted and executive produced by my mom, Kimberly Warner, produced and mixed by Steve Hawkins, and co-hosted by Eddie Polanzani. Connect with us on social media via fearlesslyauthentic.com. Copyright Fearlessly Authentic 2020.